Hi, Taurus, and welcome to your May 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. So, Mercury retrograde, all of these retrogrades, it is quite the experience, isn't it? I have had quite the experience of getting this reading to work for you guys. This is my third attempt, and all of the other two attempts, I guess it is now, have gone the entire span of the reading and have just not been what it needed to be. First of all, I didn't like the reading itself, which is how I knew that it wouldn't even work in the first place. Second of all, there were technical difficulties. The sound was all off, and I just decided that I would sleep on it, and I woke up this morning to do you, Aquarius, and Virgo. I've already done Aquarius and Virgo because I wanted to save you guys for last since it's your birth month, and we have a lot to talk about. And so I wake up early in the morning, and I have a story to tell you that I feel that will be very maybe helpful on your own experience to get past some of these heavy energies that you are inevitably dealing with right now. So here we go. First off, there is a prologue to this story. This last weekend, I decided to go out with a few friends and go to the ice skating rink. I have never been ice skating in all of my days in my entire life, but I always wanted to. I was always very athletic, and I'm still very athletic. And the sports that I did were really like high demanding, and I couldn't like risk getting injured on the ice, or else I could have like hurt myself and missed out on something and like lost a bid or something. Anyway, so I decided to go ice skating for the first time in my life, and I did quite good. My body, I'm used to this, right? I've done athletic things and I'm good. So I decided to get really confident with myself, and as my friend is like videoing me, she's like, "Oh my God, Skylar, you look beautiful. I'm gonna get you on video. Make sure look at the camera, do this, that." And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump onto one foot, and I am going to look amazing while I do it. For some reason, I chose to jump onto my left foot, which is my non-dominant foot. I don't know why, but as you can imagine, it was a disaster. It was all on camera. Maybe I should put it into the video. We'll see. But I jump onto one foot and I completely wipe out, and oh my God, Taurus, I still can barely walk. I like hurt my tailbone, my hips, and my legs, and everything is out of alignment. And so that's the prologue to this story. Yeah, just the prologue. So this morning, back to this morning, when I wake up needing to Virgo, Aquarius, and Taurus before the deadline that I've set for myself and trying to accomplish all of that, I go out to get a healthy dose of caffeine, right? I go to the coffee shop and I'm going through the drive-thru. I told this story in Virgo's video as well because they needed a little bit of humor in their lives too. So I'm driving through the coffee shop window, and I pay for my coffee, and the barista reaches back out the window to give me my change, and I reach out, and I don't know, I'm clumsy, I'm a klutz, and I drop the bills. And of course it was like supposed to be like almost $10 in change, almost all in ones, and they fall gracefully to the ground. And of course I like very quickly start to open my door so I can like catch them, and the barista so happened to be like reaching out as well to catch them, so I hit the barista in the face with my car door, and I start freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what have you done, Skylar? You've hit this poor barista in the face." And like, "Oh, you're fine, I'm great." And I'm just like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And it was horrible. It was horrible, Taurus. So, and this is just the beginning. So I'm opening my door back, and I start to like reach down to get my change that has fallen onto the ground. And if I don't kind of start to fall out of my car a little bit, and oh, it was so bad, Taurus. It was so bad. Oh, I feel like I can vent to you guys about these types of things because you get it. You get these kinds of experiences. So of course I catch myself with the athletic grace that I was gifted from childbirth, and the same athletic grace that led me to jump onto one foot at the ice skating rink. Yeah, I reach out and I start to pick up the change, and I manage to get like 4 of the ones, and a gust of wind comes and starts to blow the other ones under my car and like out towards this particular coffee shop is like surrounded by all this like landscaping and stuff, so it's like blowing out onto the lovely grass and stuff. So I have this moment where I think to myself, am I going to be the person who just leaves and avoids the embarrassing situation? Or am I going to get out in the current phase that I'm in and go after my money? Of course I want my money, Taurus. I mean, and at the end of the day, I decided to get it because here's why. I didn't want somebody else picking up that money, depositing it in their bank account, and then somebody else after that going through the ATM and getting those dollar bills and then being cursed with the bad luck attached to them. So I get out of my car, and first of all, I am not the best sight when I first wake up in the morning to finish readings, Taurus. So there's this highway that goes past, right? And cars are driving by in large volumes. And the gust of wind is slowly blowing the dollar bills towards the street. And so I kind of start to like hobble out. Do recall that my hips, tailbone, legs, arms, and sanity are all in a very haphazard, precarious place right now. So I start to kind of quickly hobble like an old man out in towards the grass, towards my dollar bills. And I pick up one, then I pick up two, then the other ones start to blow in. I start chasing after them. It was the funniest thing. I see this group of like 4 cars drive by, and each car, the driver's heads just kind of turn my direction, and they all kind of swerve a little bit and like almost collide with each other. It was great, Taurus. It was really bad, but it was really great. It was actually quite the healing experience for me. And I know that these types of things are happening to you guys as well. I get back in my car, I drive off, I put on my sunglasses, and I just like kind of like flip my hair, and I'm like, yeah, you wish you could be that fabulous. And that's how you guys need to be acting as well. You know, it seems like some situations like that can really get to you during this time, Taurus. When you just need to recall that humor really is the answer right now. You don't need to repress what you're dealing with. You don't need to pretend that other people don't exist. Instead, you need to solve old problems of the past with humor, love, and care, and grace that you are so known for. This is your month, Taurus. Happy birthday to my beautiful Taurus people who I love so much. You're some of my favorites. You know that just my Taurus people, I love you so much. I just want to like squeeze the life out of you with my Scorpio clutches. I want to squeeze the life out of you. Yeah, guys, I'm very caffeinated right now, but it's good. I'm going to try to get serious with this reading. Then I kind of want to humorously back out of it, because this is a kind of a doozy of a month for you guys, because you get a lot and you potentially lose a lot, or you lose a lot then you get a lot. It's very equal. There is a balance, definitely, for sure, of give and take, of win, of loss. And it would just be really beautiful to see you admiring your surroundings, admiring the things that you know are or were beautiful, not in a sense that you want what you can't have, but in a sense that you know what you are and what you already have. This time of year here, Taurus, is so beautiful. My favorite time of the year. Maybe it's as I'm a Scorpio and you're my opposite and I'm biased because it's good energy for me. You know, full moon in Scorpio comes May 10th, and it's a full flower moon. Like, you know, you have harvest moon, buck moon. This is the flower full moon in Scorpio. So something blooms within you here, Taurus. So make it something that you want to bloom. Do you want your anger to bloom? Do you want your resentment to bloom? Do you want your grudges, your control, or your manipulative tactics or ways, or forms of punishment through removing other people from you and restricting your presence on them? Do you want that to bloom within you? Or do you want, you know, true love to bloom? Do you want endurance to bloom? Follow through on your goals, creation of your own authentic, real content, stability, financial, monetary, relationship stability. Do you want those things to bloom, or do you want those hard things to bloom? It's all up to you in this month. And you are called to give things endings, and people want to continue things. That's a different thing for you guys. You know, closure has been such a theme for you and Scorpio both recently. And you've had like ample opportunity to do it, as have other people with you. So if it's not happened, it becomes something completely new, honestly, Taurus. It blooms within you. So there are a few categories of Taurus right now, and I'm going to try to talk to everyone, because remember, guys, so many people watch these videos. I have to kind of try to make it relate to all my Taurus. So struggling the most are the Taurus who used the power of their presence to punish or manipulate the circumstance of other people. So you've come into an awareness, or you are coming into an awareness of the power of your presence, Taurus. You and Scorpio both have this, although in very, very different ways. There is a more sensual presence of Taurus. There is a more material, tangible wanted on a surface level, potentially sexually as well, version of powerful presence that Taurus has that runs deeper, but what is deeper is not seen by those around you. So a lot of you Taurus, and I bet every single Taurus watching this can relate to people not taking you for what you're worth, people really taking you for granted until you leave them, until you go. Then all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, I've only been in love with you. Oh my gosh, you're the person that I've always wanted. I was like a fool to be so bad to you or whatever. That is something that usually happens to, every Taurus that I've ever known. Because you're unaware of like the power of your presence. And like sometimes people deserve to be walked out on by you, but only if you had made that clear. It's like this particular category of Taurus did not make it clear. You led people to believe that you were like a long-running player in their life, then you walked out on them. That blooms within you, Taurus, and it becomes something that is sought after, actually. You will find that you start to attract the type of people who only want to be walked away from. You will find that you start to attract the type of people who will never really matter to you in the first place. You'll find that the lack of your self-confidence, because this category, I'm talking evolutionary structures, hierarchies of spiritual growth and ascension. At this lowest category, the lack of self-confidence, the lack of self-understanding, the lack of the desire to even understand who you are or how your system works leads you to surround yourself with the type of people who you can only ever really dislike and have a growing disdain for, while you lead them to believe that they are somehow the best thing that you have ever wondered upon, while you consciously, for some reason, think that these people care, that these people are out for your best intentions, and they are. But in reality, if there was somebody that gave you more, you would leave them in the dust, okay? And that's an archetype that Scorpio was dealing with as well. That's a lot of Scorpio, again, evolutionary chains, higher evolved Scorpios, higher evolved Taurus, left this behind a long time ago, but there's still a percentage of you who can't face the past, who can't face the reality, and who continue surrounding yourself with people who never do, can, or will matter to you in the first place. And it is one of the saddest things to see of one of the most beautiful signs in the zodiac, because this is my favorite time of year when the sun is in Taurus. For about 3 weeks here, I'm going to tell you guys another beautiful little story that will help you to evolve. And this will help all of the categories of Taurus. For about 3 weeks here, right as the sun is in the main part of Taurus, it becomes the most beautiful time of year. At the nighttime, and me as a nocturnal Scorpio here, the smell of honeysuckle in the humid air, as the fireflies start to come out and the rain comes through and it creates this steam and a wetness that you can feel in the air. That is something that is healing of the deepest wounds, walking out in the nighttime and in the wet air and, being able to smell the honeysuckle and see the fireflies sort of radiate and go from dark to light before they die with the heat. It's something profoundly healing. And that is you, Taurus. That is your energy. You are born with the energy of honeysuckle and fireflies. That's why you attract so many people. That's why so many people lust for you. And your lust, Taurus, when you fall into your shadow of never wanting to know what's deeper within you, when you fall into never wanting to see the shadow, never wanting to admit or see the darkness in a way that brings it to light. Because you guys can be good at, pessimistically accepting that you're a bad person. In fact, that's the vocabulary right there. I've known Taurus to say, I'm just a bad person and I can't help it. I'm just a bad person. And I've even known some Taurus to say, I already know I'm going to hell, so there's no reason for me to try any harder. And let me say that I have shed many tears for those particular Taurus. And I can only pray that they come into a place, because again, I always talk about how many Taurus I know on my channel. I know more Taurus than like anybody else, you know, and if only because some Taurus that I know have completely transcended that and completely come through the other side and have seen that aspect of their personalities, worked with it, and have allowed this like beautiful, artistic, just powerful, beautiful, stunning energy to overtake them, where they are just shining and thriving in a way that everybody wants to watch. And they don't even want to be watched. They want to watch everyone else. And that's what makes it such a beautiful contradiction. But again, for these Taurus who are stuck down there, you know, it would be really nice if things could just be easy for you. Because continuing things the way that they are right now, whereas you might think that it makes you look like something, it's really just a powerful reflection of how unstable and lacking and full of loss you might be right now. And I can only extend prayer and positive light to you, and maybe images of this crazy Scorpio Sagittarius person like running after their dollar bills in the street and looking crazy. Laugh at things like that, Taurus. Be comfortable with humor, because that's a great way for you to ascend. You know, and I fear that my Taurus viewers who are past this stage will think that I'm being harsh on Taurus when I'm not. You guys know, you guys have been there. You guys understand this part of the Taurus archetype and personality as a Taurus, that it's rough territory for a while until you come into your own. And I just wish that I could hug some of you or do something that would make something click or a light bulb turn on, because I know you guys want more, okay? And wow, long reading. We haven't even looked at this week by week yet. But it's y'all's birthday, so I don't even care how long this reading goes. So for higher evolved Taurus, it's much more short and simple. You're just, you know, coming back into some old territory. You're just doing some housekeeping, I feel, some sort of emotional housekeeping. You know, it's kind of spring cleaning time anyway. So I think it will be good for you guys to, as you're cleaning your homes or changing up your homes for, you know, spring and summer, you know, do the same with your mentality, with your emotions. You know, you've been here before. You've been through a dark place. You know, you have the Hermit coming up in your reading and Judgment. You have light to shine in the darkness. You know, you can finally use your lantern to guide you versus not accepting that you have it and just stumbling around in the dark. And that's a beautiful tool that the Hermit comes in to provide for you. And it provides it for all of the Taurus, in fact. But I feel that most of you more higher evolved Taurus are happy to take it versus wanting to stumble around in the darkness, okay? And it's hard to know where your conscious wants are, but, you know, if you're kind of sitting here wondering, gosh, am I a higher evolved Taurus or am I a lower evolved Taurus? If you have a strong desire to shine light in the darkness and really get down and dirty with your past and making sure that things have been made right and you have made yourself accountable, because the Scorpio Taurus axis is all about accountability. It can be about sacrifice. On the other side of that, it's about sensuality and extreme pleasure. So you just kind of have to have both ends of it. You know, to feel so deeply as Taurus and Scorpio can, to have such a profound memory, you have to feel that, the other end of that, which, you know, is the sacrifice and the sorrow and, you know, closing, ending relationships, beginning relationships, starting relationships over, trying to reinvigorate things. It's muddy territory, but I feel that most of my Taurus have been here. Just take the lantern that the Hermit provides you and be prepared to work your way through the shadow again, because it's here in May, and it seems it can go quite quickly, because you have Judgment, so it's like you can be out of this circumstance really quickly. In the first week, again, Taurus, that's the Hermit, rooted down by Page of Pentacles reversed. Something about your money comes into play here as well. I feel like I've made it pretty clear already. Just be open to grabbing the lantern and walking forward. You are protected during this time. The Hermit is always a signal of protection. Money isn't your lantern right now, okay? Money isn't what shines in the darkness. You know, some of you might even be attracting in people who are very wealthy, Or also people who are saying that they're more wealthy than they actually are. Page of Pentacles is a sign reversed that people who are acting very wealthy around you are putting on a front. Okay, and it's good to use the lantern to shine light and get to the bottom of the truth. And maybe not even care so much about people's money or the financial circumstances of things, because there seems to be deception and lies there if you're putting too much emphasis on that. Moving into the second week, you guys, you have Two of Cups redone by Judgment reversed. That is powerful. That is potentially somebody from your past coming back in, because Judgment is all about reliving the past and using it to evolve into the future. Maybe you reconnect with someone from your past. It's possible, only if that's something you have been wanting to do, or if you feel like it's right to do. Maybe somebody reaches out to you. I'm not sure. This can also be an evolution of your relatability with other people in general. Maybe even an evolution of the relatability with yourself. Also resistance to the relatability, okay? Again, there's such a two-sidedness to this, as there always is with tarot and esoteric studies like this. You can see both sides of it very clearly. That's why I always try to address like lower evolved and higher evolved people, because, you know, it can go so many different directions for people depending on where they're at on their spiritual path. You guys get it. Here in the second week, try to reflect on the question, can you really experience a healthy relationship in the present and the future if you've not given proper endings to relationships from the past? Do you feel that that's possible? Okay. If you feel that that's possible, if you feel that that is possible, there's something to look at with the relatability with yourself, because you're not owning up to yourself or living up to your own morals. There's integrity comes up in the second week as well. Morals and integrity are actually a theme for in the entirety of May. And you guys are really good with that. Talk to Cancer or Cancerian ruled people about morals and integrity, and they will really shine a good light for you during this time, I feel. In the third week, Taurus, you guys have Four of Cups reversed, or done by Three of Wands. More solitude here, more aloneness. It's interesting to go from Two of Cups to Four of Cups. It seems like you don't really want to be alone, yet you're turning your back on a lot of people. And I feel that it's just because you're trying to figure out who's on your side and who's not. But you're still not quite ready to stand by yourself. You see in the Three of Wands, the guy is like holding on to it. It's like he can't stand alone. He has to hold himself up on something and distribute his weight. So despite feeling above or beneath other people, there's something about like ego here too. Like, do you feel above people? Do you feel beneath people? It's good to just consistently be involved. It's good to not feel like you're above or below anybody else. I feel that Gemini was also struggling with this. So if you guys have any Gemini in your chart, it will be good to watch that reading as well. You're kind of hiding a little bit in May, because you see the Hermit, the Three of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. They're all cloaked figures, as well as the Queen of Wands, but I do feel that that's someone else for you. You're covering yourself up. You're kind of wanting to keep to yourself more. You might even be kind of feeling the nostalgia in the third week. You might be feeling a connection to somebody who isn't there any longer, or feeling a connection to a way that things were, knowing that they can't be that way now. Taurus, I would love to just see you guys be happy and laugh, okay? You know, embrace the Queen of Wands energy that is your central theme right now, and be eccentric and laugh at everything. You know, strike up a conversation with somebody from your past if you feel that it's healthy, and laugh about something. Somebody that you know will not be damaging to who you are. All right? That will be great for you in the fourth week. You know, maybe getting out of your head and out of the uncomfortable solitude will be good. But at the same time, having standards for yourself as well. Okay, there's a fine line there. When I talk about talking to people from your past or being around people, it's like you have to make sure that you're living up to your own standards. Did these people from your past, or these people who are around you, or that you might be seeking to be around, are these good people? Are these bad people? You know deep down who's good and who's bad, okay? You have such a strong sense for it. And like you're in the shadows and working on your own shadow parts of your personality. Like, Are you going to dance the dance with people who are as self-destructive or more self-destructive than you? I feel that you guys can make a more powerful or more empowering decision for yourself. Okay, because moving into the 4th week, you guys do have Knight of Cups rooted down by 6 of Pentacles reversed. It seems that you become more empathetic here. You understand where other people are coming from. You might even understand the codependent nature of relationships from the past. You might even feel drawn to try to use that to make something better in the future or better in the present. Regardless, it seems that there's somebody in May that has fallen out of favor with you. Somebody, and it's very recent. It's somebody very recent. Somebody who has a very fiery, outward, feminine persona, actually, with Queen of Wands reversed, taking residence over all of this. You know, it might be time to wake up and understand who actually manipulated you. It might be time to wake up and understand that you're actually being manipulated right now by somebody. Maybe you feel very very individually empowered during this time. But there are deceptions here. There are like masks. There are people who are not who they seem in May, Taurus, which is why it will be so good to feel comfortable in your own skin, to feel comfortable in solitude and maybe with YouTube, maybe not even watching so much tarot and watching so much spiritual stuff, unless it feels healing. Like if reading, and I said this for I believe Virgo and Aquarius as well this morning, because I've been feeling this all day. Like if readings and tarot and astrology feel healing to you, go for it. Watch as much as you want. But if there's something about this that you watch and you feel like, I don't feel like I need to hear this. I don't feel like this is where I need to be right now, because it's very normal during this time of the year. Sometimes experience and life are better healers even than this kind of thing. So if that's how you feel, Taurus, do honor that, and maybe just go to a part of YouTube, since you're already here, that's more humorous and more exciting. But if this is comfortable, I'm so proud that you're here. I'm so proud that you're embarking on shadow journeys right now. You know, the 4th week of May will open your eyes to the way that things were in past relationships, not gonna lie. With the hope that you apply that to the present and future relationships. Because once you grow from them, you can finally grow and give to the past what you needed to grow and give to it, okay? Because remember, things are blooming this month for you. Things are coming into fruition here. Do you want good things to come into fruition, or do you want to leave things with sort of a thought that they would never bloom in the first place? Because that's just not life, you know? There are cycles, things change. Make sure that you've given proper endings and have closed things out properly here. And you will stand to feel very solid going into June, okay? June should be really good for you guys. June and July both, I'm hoping, okay? And you know, people come to me and they're like, oh, you always say it's about to get better. You always say that it will get better, and it never does for me. And that's just because that's the nature of the tarot. The tarot shows you what you can do to make things better, how you can use the energy to create a better circumstance for yourself. However, actually doing that can be another thing, and it's all about your spiritual journey and how you choose to access the archetypes and work with the archetypes. I'm rooting for you guys so much. You know I love you guys, and I hope, again, that you can just laugh at my story from earlier and have a few experiences like that of your own, although I don't wish that on anybody, you know, especially not after having a wreck like I did at the ice skating rink, and then, you know, having to hobble out into the road and get my money, and just, you should have seen the looks the people in the line behind gave me. As I said, I didn't care, and you guys don't need to care either about the looks that people give you. Good time to be confident. Good time to realize yourself, like Leo, especially for you guys with Leo. Like, check out Leo's video as well, perhaps, if you have some Leo placements. I feel that you would benefit from accessing that sun solar energy for sure. And admire yourself, admire your surroundings, admire the things that don't have so much money connotation, because money's weird for you right now. It gets better, but it's in a place where it's not really what you've wanted it to be, I see, because it's really not about money this month. And if you're focusing too much on money, it's a good way to, you know, lessen that, or like lose it a little bit. So don't focus so much on money and you'll get more. But the universe is calling you to look at things from a non-monetary perspective, which is strange because it is your time of the year, and Taurus is a big money sign for sure. You can get a lot more money as long as it's not too big of a focus right now, as I'm saying. And It is your birth month. I see, like, you are going to get gifts. People are going to be around you. Don't think that you're unpopular right now, Taurus. You are very popular, and you can be even more popular than you realize. There are even like potentials for surprise parties or something that's like you didn't expect people to come through for you in the way that they do. But you just have to make sure that you're not losing track of your own shadow journey, because you've come so close to, you know, getting where you want on your spiritual journey. And it will be just nice to see you guys accepting easiness and not needing some kind of trauma to, you know, push you in some direction, right? And I hope that I articulated this reading okay for you guys, because it was hard for me to articulate. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like I might have been like too, I don't know, stern or something. But do comment below. And if you guys have any insight onto sort of the lower evolved Taurus archetype that I was talking about in a way that helps me to articulate it, or in a way that you're familiar, you've been there, done that, I would love to hear your insight. I really look up to you guys in a way that you don't even know. There's something very profound about Taurus to me that I try to work with and I try to understand. So any help is appreciated. You're quite a foreign species to me. I have nothing in Taurus, okay? Although I've known so many of them. And such a wide spectrum of Taurus with so many other astrological placements that can muddy the waters a little bit for somebody who doesn't have it within themselves. I literally have nothing in Taurus, as I said. But, you know, if you guys would like to understand more about your own personal journey, have me look at your chart, have me do a tarot reading for you personally, you should be able to choose that right now. It should be popping up on your screen. Also, you can click on the playlist and choose your sun, moon, rising if this didn't resonate, if you need something a little bit more positive potentially. Also, subscribe to my channel. You can do that here as well. Much love to you guys. I am so rooting for you. And I say all this with the utmost respect and love for you. So much love. See you in June.